here I am, doing everything I can, holding on to what I am, pretending I'm a Superman. Hey, my beautiful little chickadees. Chicken here. You can always follow me at Chicken Jarrett. That's Chicken, Jaret, on Twitter. So I was driving home today, and I was listening to a CD that I made 10 years ago in 2006, and the first track was the Superman theme. And I started thinking about that year Bryan Singer's Superman Returns came out. And that movie was great in tone execution, but it wasn't great in script execution. So immediately after that movie came out and not made as much as Warner Brothers had hoped, and that was a year after the Batman reboot, Batman Begins, which didn't make a lot of money, but it made a lot of people go like, wow, they brought Batman back like really well. And there was a lot of high hopes for Superman Returns. The problem is that the script was not up to snuff with it. And I mean, if you like Superman Returns, that's fine. I particularly didn't like it as much as I wanted to, but what I did love about it, I love the tone of it. I love the tone of Superman. Now, here's the thing. I will confess up front, I'm not a Superman fan. I've never been a Superman fan. I've been a Batman fan since I was 8 years old when I saw Batman 1989. That movie made me a comic book fan. And here's the thing. I watched the Chris Reeve movies when I was a kid. You know, I love the Superman movies 1 and 2. Didn't care for 3 and 4, but, you know, whatever. So, I respected Superman. I respect Superman as an elder statesman of the comic book genre. I respect him as he was there first, and he brought about this whole revolution of comic books and comic book characters. I respect him for that. Now, I didn't like the character because I thought he was a little bit too goody-goody at the time. Now, mind you, I was a kid. And when you're a kid, you kind of gravitate towards things that are a little bit more edgy, a little bit more adult. Lately, I've been getting back into Superman a lot more because I feel there's a big problem with the way Superman is portrayed nowadays. Superman is portrayed as a conflicted character who doesn't understand why he wants to save people. And that is a problem for me. I actually kind of liked Man of Steel. I didn't hate it as much as other people did, but I didn't love it. Now, I liked it more than Singer's Superman movie. So, it was a step up in the right direction, but the problem is, with Batman v Superman, they went backwards. They went so backwards, I don't even recognize Superman anymore. And I really feel that the character is not being portrayed as it should be. If you ever watch the DC animated movies, I highly recommend you check out, if you have not already, Superman vs. the Elite. Now, Superman vs. the Elite is a animated movie that came out, I think it was about like maybe 5 years ago, I'm not sure. It basically sets up the argument why Superman is still needed in a cynical world that we live in today. So Superman is confronted with basically the notion that he is old news, that he is no longer needed in the world that we live in, where being good is no longer valuable, where being good is no longer respected, is no longer needed, and the fact that the world wants vengeance, and the world wants payback instead of justice. Now, Superman has always been about justice. He's always been about not killing people. He's always been about being the bigger man. When confronted with how to deal with his anger, he always chose the high road. He never killed anybody. He never had a point where he wanted to. He may have had points where he wanted to, but he never acted on his primal urges. Like Batman, who, I'm sorry, but Batman has killed before, and he has done it in the comics, and he has done it in films. So everybody bitching about Batman v Superman or that he kills people, I'm sorry to break it to you, but he killed people in Batman Returns, he killed people in Batman, he killed people in Batman Forever, he killed people in Batman and Robin. He killed people. So, like, your argument is invalid when it comes to that. You can argue that in Justice he does kill people, but that was a breaking point, that was a turning point, and he never came back from that. So that's a different alternate universe kind of situation. So he's confronted by a team of vigilantes called the Elite, whose main person in that is called Union Jack, and he's a UK vigilante who kills people, and they use like telepathic abilities and stuff like that. So there's a point, I don't want to give too much because it's a really good movie. You should check it out. If it is on Netflix, go check it out. I'm not sure if it is anymore. I watched it on Netflix though. If you could find it, rent it. Definitely rent it. If you love Superman and you love the DC animated universe, this is definitely a gem for you to watch. It basically proves that, push past his breaking point, Superman being a being of unlimited power could be a being of unlimited evil at that point. So it's best that the character deals in good and not evil. One thing that I really didn't like when I was watching Batman v Superman, and if you like the movie, that's fine. I'm just putting up my arguments, my issues with it. And I know it's been, 4 months since it came out, 3 months maybe, and I know people have talked this to death, but I really don't think this has been talked about a lot. And I think that it's kind of been kind of swept under the rug as the fact that DC does not know how to handle Superman right now, at least in the feature films. Now, in the animated movies, they do, and they've always done it perfectly. In the new incarnation of the DC universe and the DC cinematic universe, they don't know how to handle Superman, and I really hope that they turn that table real quick, because this is my hope for Justice League. When he eventually does come back, spoilers, when he eventually comes back, I'm not going to say why he's gone, but I'm just going to say when he comes back, he needs to be the Superman that we all love, that we all came to love in the comics and the Christopher Reeve movies and on television, and just the character of unlimited hope and optimism and peace. And like the older that I get, the more I cling to those ideals, because I really feel that we have lost these ideals in our world. I feel that we've lost these ideals of goodness, of kindness, of optimism. In this world, if you don't have any of these things, they will beat you to the ground, and they will not let you get up, and they will kick you while you're down. And having, call it faith, call it hope, call it whatever you want, having a sense of optimism and positivity in your life is very important nowadays. And I feel like Superman's not that anymore. People in charge of DC, the people in charge of Warner Brothers, they don't know how to handle a messianic-like character like Superman. But Marvel has done it very well, and Marvel has done it pretty well with, and I know he's not the same, and he is a man, but that is the reason I love Captain America. Captain America, for me, is what Superman is missing in the DC universe. He is the idealistic, morally driven, it's about doing what's best for your fellow man and for the world. That's Steve Rogers. Where is this guy? And I'm pointing to a painting that I did for my nephew, Christian. He loves Superman. He loves the Superman movies. He loves the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. He even loves the new ones. And I want that character to be what he looks up to. And I miss that guy. And I really hope they bring him back soon, because I feel like Superman, you know what? This means hope. They say it means hope. Where's the hope? Where is the hope in the Superman movies nowadays? I don't find it. And you know what? I hope they bring it back. So if you like what I said, if you have comments, post them down below. Follow the Drunken Animals, drunkenanimals.com, and at DrunkenAnimalsPod on Twitter. And go to Facebook, The Drunken Animals. So until next time, stay beautiful, my little chickadees.